movie called Obsessed with Song Seung-hoon and Lim Ji-young, and everybody's gonna know who Song Seung-hoon is. He has been a Korean drama artist or lead actor since the days of the original Korean dramas. It was Autumn Concerto, and that was the breakout K-drama for Song Seung-hoon as well as Song Hye-kyo. And they're two of my favorite Korean actors. And then you're gonna know that series because also not only was Song Seung-hoon in Autumn Love Story, but Winter Sonata was a huge one, and that was with the top Korean actor named, his last name is Bae. And so then there was also Spring Waltz, and that one, I really like the lead actor, but he mostly just does like weekend dramas. He's here and there, but Daniel Henney was in that K-drama. So Song Seung-hoon and Lim Ji-young was in Obsessed, and this movie actually happened many years ago. I just never happened to really watch the Korean movie. I'm not as into Korean movies as I am into Korean dramas, so it wasn't really on my radar, but I do remember watching some of the advertising, some of the PR and marketing for Obsessed with Song Seung-hoon way back whenever the movie happened, and I was like, oh, he looks really handsome as in his military outfit, because yeah, he was in an officer's uniform and it looked so good. He just looked amazing, and he just looked extra clean cut during that time as well. So yeah, he just looked extra handsome. So that's kind of where so that for me was just kind of a big thing. So then Lim Ji-young also did an amazing job in The Glory. So I feel like she did an amazing job in The Glory. But we're going back to the Korean movie Obsessed. So it is a time during the Vietnam War-ish, and they're actually Korean military. And something that I found very interesting was it wasn't in a Korean village setting or Korean housing. It was very military style. And the military style, it really reminded me of, I guess, military corporate housing for the US, because it was very US based style, like what you would see in the 1950s, like Leave It to Beaver. So I was actually pretty intrigued by the fact that the housing was very US styled. The clothing that they wore was very 1960s, June Cleaver, Leave It to Beaver, Mother, very post World War II outfits. They were very much attired in that way. And I think it's because the Korean Army military was so heavily influenced by the US Army still, because the US had a strong presence after World War II, after the Korean Wars, and there is just still a very strong presence of the US Army in Korea. So that part was just really interesting to me to see that in a movie that was just recently done. So Song Seung-hoon, I would have to say, gave the performance of his lifetime in this movie. I have always liked Song Seung-hoon, but kind of fell in love with him yet again in this movie. He's done a great job in his other dramas, but it wasn't so emotional and where I felt, so strongly for the character. I really felt that he became the character. I never even questioned it. I really felt that he was a military officer, very high ranking, who has gone through post-traumatic stress disorder, who was still suffering from the trauma that he endured in the Vietnam War on the Korean side. and him falling in love with Lim Ji-yeon's character, and she's the antagonist character in the K-drama The Glory with Song Hye-kyo. She does an amazing job. She's such a great actress. And I didn't really particularly like her character, mostly because she wasn't sweet, she wasn't innocent, she was more just very real. And I think that that's why Song Seung-hoon's character bonded so much with her character, because her character also went through something very traumatic as a child. Her family ran away into the mountains to hide from, I guess, criminal government pursuit by the father. And then the mother left the family, and the father died of dysentery, which I think is just extremely bad food poisoning and diarrhea. I'm sure I'm wrong, because I'm sure that that's not what dysentery is, but that's what I imagined, and I'm just going to go with it because I didn't look it up, I didn't Google it. I'm just like, dysentery just seems like a very, I think, waterborne disease. I don't know. Anyways, that's not important to the movie. But she did stay with the father even after he died. She just stayed in the mountains next to the father even a week after he had passed. So finally she came down, I think, after she realized the father wasn't going to come back anymore. But in the movie, she still had very strong, negative, even hateful feelings towards her own mother. You could see that during the interaction. She just was like, I don't want to see you anymore, and what have you. And I guess I do feel a little bit more for her character in that she did bond with her husband's mother, so her mother-in-law. So it seems like the mother-in-law just really adored her, the daughter-in-law, and very much cared for her. And she even apologized to Lim Ji-yeon's character in that she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I married you off to my son. I know he's not a very good man, but thank you so much for caring for him. And I feel like that bond is the strongest out of everything that was in this movie, the mother-in-law and Lim Ji-yeon's character. The reason being is that Lim Ji-yeon's character knew that as a child, this lady did all that she could to raise her, even though she had no obligation to raise this girl that she found off the street. And I think that that's why Lim Ji-yeon's character married the son, even though he did something bad to her in the attic. And even though he's kind of like pimping her out to the other officers, not completely, but basically advertising her and kind of showing her off to the other military officers. So yeah, even though he's not the best husband, I mean, I guess he still continues to provide for her. And I think she is so indebted to the mother-in-law that she just kind of is making do with what she's been dealt with in life. The hand of cards that she's been dealt with. And so, yeah, but Song Seung-hoon character, oh my God, he falls so in love with Lim Ji-yeon's character. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was tortured and he was so brutally, horrifically, mentally scarred by his time in Vietnam that I think he is just completely drawn towards her character, because she also is there. It's like two damaged souls that are together, and so that's what happened. And I feel like even though they are together very passionately physically, I feel like it's more that their soul is connecting on a deeper level, because he finds solace in her, and probably like in a physical way, but more also that she just seems so real and so straightforward and just so not all about this political power play, all this sneakiness, all this, one-upmanship that the military officers and the military officer wives are playing, that he just feels like she's this light that's shining. And even his wife, even though I feel like the wife she's a fairly good person, she herself is just so dry as a companion that, they're getting along well enough together, but there is no passion. And I think they're just she's with him because of he is graduated at the top of his class for military school, did so well in the Vietnam War, and then came back a hero. Her father, she's military family. Her own father is like a commander or general or something. So she's lived that life all her life, because I'm sure she was born into it. And then she's continuing on with her own husband, and she pulls rank as well. In this movie, you could see her pulling rank and kind of alpha dogging this other lady who's just a horrible gossip. Anyways, I love this movie. It is definitely on the rated R NC-17. It's not your typical Korean drama. It's not the holding hands and just sneaking a kiss and barely any skinship. You couldn't get more skinship than this movie. There was a lot of action, and that's not actually what drew me to the movie, because I think as a woman, your mind is more engaged when it comes to that. It wasn't even romantic. It was just more like this very physical and mental and soul connection between these two lead characters that I really believed, rather than the physical connection. Because you could go to any website all day, every day, and just flip through a ton of whatever things that you want to see on the web, but it was more the connection of, and more like the tortured connection between Song Seung-hoon and Lee Ji-young's character. And I truly feel like Song Seung-hoon outshined himself in this movie. Towards the ending, where he had already lost his mind during the Vietnam War, or his character did, but when he completely lost it because of the medication and the alcohol, I so believed it. And honestly, I really felt that it took that many men to hold him back from going after Lim Ji-yeon's character. I'm like, oh my God, it's so impressive. I could not believe it. It was definitely, I feel like if that drama had made it onto Netflix, it would be for sure a second coming for Song Seung-hoon's character and that movie, because it was so good. It was so amazing. Yeah. And I just feel like he did such a great job. He did such a wonderful job portraying a man that was kind of dwelling in a lot of hurt and pain from what he had to go through during the Vietnam, his deployment and his time served there. And I always thought he was a pretty good actor, but there are times where he's been a little bit dry or whatever. But definitely it was such a good movie. I am so amazed, and so just props to Song Seung-hoon. And Lim Ji-yeon especially, I feel like female in the entertainment industry, sometimes they do get exploited. And, both Song Seung-hoon and Lim Ji-yeon's character, they definitely showed a lot more than your typical movie even. And I actually feel like Korean movies kind of go in that direction anyways, because I have seen Korean movies here and there, and they usually do get pretty graphic, the content is way more than what you would ever see even in a rated R movie in the US. They get way more graphic, way more I'm just like, how do they do that without actually physically connecting? Because I'm like, that like, I don't see how they can do that without actually doing something. Like, I just, unless it's taped or they're like, I don't think it just seems physically impossible to do all that without actually doing that. But whatever, that wasn't the main point of the movie, but just the actual more soul bonding, the soul connection was just like, oh my gosh, and just the fact that Lim Ji Young's character is so devoted to the mother-in-law, maybe for just caring for her and saving her and just being more of a family than any of her own family members. It's just like, it's just such a deep movie, and I can't believe it took me that long to watch it. And I did watch it because it's on Amazon Prime. So, you know, when if you have Amazon Prime, I highly recommend that you watch it because it is so good. I just can't get over how good that movie is. So then I went to go watch, the Kim Woo-bin, Song Seung-hoon K-drama that recently came out. It's about the apocalypse and some meteor crashing into the earth and, like, you know, that. And I have to say that it's been many years since that movie's been out, Obsessed. And of course, everyone's aged. Everyone's gotten older. I've gotten older. There's definitely, I think to stay at a certain level of your own looks, it takes a lot of effort. And I think because Song Seung-hoon knew that he would be displaying so much of his body, that he got extra ripped for that movie. He looks amazing. Like, I think he must have worked out a lot and was on a special diet plan because he looked amazing in that whole movie. Like, he looked like he was just ready to go. Anyways, but in the other movie that had recently happened with Kim Woo-bin, the name's not memorable, but it's about these transporting people, transporting air and oxygen and different nutrition from a privileged area or a place of Elysium type place into the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is just extremely polluted from the meteor accident. But he just looked so much more just regular, just like not like, he probably still works out. I mean, the guy's still in shape. Like, you look at his posts from even the day before where it's on Instagram, so it's pretty much immediate. He's still in good shape, but he's not in the shape that he was for Obsessed, because I'm sure that took extra effort, and I'm sure anybody who's going to be exposing themselves that much are going to take that effort, because oh my god, that was I'm speechless. Anyways, but yeah, and then so I did watch that movie, and he played the bad guy, which kind of like is new because leading actors don't normally play bad guys because they don't want to disrupt their image, their public image to, you know, the real world. So I give props to Song Seung-hoon that he went that extra step and he played the bad guy, because normally at his caliber, they never play the bad guy. They're always playing the good leading man who always gets the girl. Actually, nobody got the girl. There was no girl romance in that last K-drama with Song Seung-hoon and Kim Woo-bin's character on Netflix. I actually recommend it. It was kind of interesting. It was very post-apocalyptic, very wrestler kind of, almost even The Matrix-like, because it kind of reminded me of The Matrix as well. So, where was I going with this? It was good. It was good. I don't know if I'm going to watch any other one. I mean, there was this one where it was When a Man Loves, where he was kind of the bad guy, but he was also kind of the good guy. But he was gangster, but he was kind of the leading man. I don't know. That one was really... It was with Shin Soo-gi, I think her name is. I really like her now after watching her Instagram. No, after watching her YouTube. All she does is she's very quietly cooking, and I've grown to love her YouTube videos. And she has such a calming, very quiet, introverted, very soothing personality on her YouTube program that I've always been kind of like meh. I've always been kind of wishy-washy with her, but ever since I started watching her YouTube program, I'm like, oh my God, I love her. I love her cooking. I love her, just her soft-spokenness. I love the way she's extremely meticulous with her cooking, and I've grown to love her because of her YouTube videos. So yeah, hi. And so I do love her, but so Song Seung-hoon was in the drama When a Man Loves with her, and I'm kind of considering watching it again because he plays a less dramatic version of his obsessed character in that drama. So I'm kind of debating whether or not to watch that again. But I did watch The Glory, just snippets of it, because I wanted to see this one guy who I have really liked because of his mean character on The Glory. And now he's in the K-drama The Others, or Not Others, with Soo-young from Girls' Generation. So Soo-young is in this new drama Not Others with the guy, the very evil guy from The Glory, who I love. He's just great in this K-drama Not Others. He's like this disgruntled, cranky chief of police. His character is so funny because he's just so over it. I love his character. But in The Glory, he was so evil, he was so awful, but I still liked him because he has such a sweet face. He has such a sweet, very kind, good guy face, and yet he's just the epitome of evil in The Glory. And in Not Others with Soo-young, he is just the pinnacle of over it. He's so done. But then he has such a kind, very sweet face. So it's so different to watch in the dramas. I have no idea what his real life character is because I don't know if he has an Instagram. He seems like just your, I don't know, average, good, kind person. But in the dramas, with that face, that very kind, clean boy, good guy face, he plays the most disturbed, evil characters or people who are just over it, just unenthused. I don't know. So I love his character. I think I like that style. Maybe I like that style. I don't know. But yeah, so Not Others, their new episode is on today. So I'm actually probably going to watch it after this TikTok live. Mostly because I like him. I don't even know his name. I should probably find him on Instagram because I really like his character. So yeah, that's all that I have to say about Song Seung-hoon. I highly, absolutely recommend Obsessed with Song Seung-hoon and Lim Ji-young's character. And you know what? Actually, Not Others, the mom to Soo-young, is the mean lady in Obsessed. She's the mean officer's wife in obsessed. And so I know that in the Korean entertainment industry, you just have to be always on your best behavior, hopefully not ever having a bad day, because you're always working with the same people, or the connection. It's like you don't even need a connection. Everybody is a connection, because it seems like that world is so tiny that everybody is connected in some manner, some form. I'm like, whenever I see Korean dramas and I'm like, why are they always running into each other? It's like, but how could they not? It's like a small city. It's very populated, but I'm guessing you'll just run into the same people in the same walk of life unless you just stay at home, which I kind of do anyways. So maybe I would never see anybody, but yeah. So anyways, I am off to watch Not Others, the next episode. I think it's closing in on, close to being done. I'm gonna be sad when it's over, because I really like that guy's character. I just love the fact that he's so, in the whole drama, he's always tired. He's always like a little bit annoyed. And also I feel like he's kind of taking it easy on his workout and nutrition regimen, because he's getting a little bit chubby. Like, not chubby as in like actual chubby, but you could see that he's getting bloated in some of the scenes. And so he must be eating well during his time off at night, like, because he definitely looks bloated. I look bloated. I'm like, I need to do something. I mean, the clock keeps ticking, but you know, we can hold off a little bit of aging as much as we can. That's possible. Oh yeah, and my back hurts. Like, I just got a mattress off of Amazon. It's one of the toppers. I actually have a bed. I have a pretty nice bed frame, but I think I'm gonna be sleeping on the floor again, just because thankfully my neck is not too bad. There's no extreme pain. It's not shooting pain. There's no, I'm able to get out of bed and move around. My neck isn't like that right now, but like for the past several months, my lower back has been pretty bad. I'm hoping and praying that God will bless me with better health and more care for my lower back, because it went from just severe back pain, and now it's shooting down my left leg. I think this whole left side is just messed up. Yeah, and so yeah, sciatic pain. There's times where I can't even walk correctly, and it's pretty hard to get in or out of bed, which is terrible. Like, I wouldn't wish this on even people that I dislike to the 1,000,000th degree, you know, because that's just not good. Anyways, I am about to watch Not Others because I am so excited for that K-drama. It's probably one of my favorite ones right now. Not Others, The Real Has Come. I'm just over the moon for all of those K-dramas, just because they're so amazing, good, awesome. I love it, love it, love it. But yeah, so I'm gonna watch that. I'll probably have to stretch some more because I could feel the leg is tingling on the left side. But yeah, if you can, pray for me, for my body pain. Yes. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed my very effusive and very, very jubilant or very excited review of Song Seung-hoon's Obsessed Korean movie. Highly recommend, just for his acting as well as the girl. I definitely feel like she has a very versatile range in terms of playing the very naive, very Cinderella character in your typical K-drama lead, to this drama where it was very physical, and she was playing a very hurt character, but also kind of stoic. Very resilient, her character. props to her. She actually, when I see her on in award ceremonies and just different things, she actually kind of unnerves me because she can play such a disturbed, dark character and also such a hurt character and also just such a naive, sweet character that I'm like, who is she as a real person? Just because it's like she just seems like she's just so strong, very, very strong. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Bye.